everybody, Stacey here. Super excited for today's show. We have on the reigning Dr. Missouri America, who is competing in just 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, for the title of Dr. America. So stay with us right here on Pageantry Now. Hey everybody, welcome back to all of the crownies out there. We're so excited to have all of you. Today's show, I'm super excited because I get to have one of my sister queens on, and she's going to talk all about why she does this crazy thing called pageantry, because don't we all want to know? Because it's pretty bananas. So just a couple of things about Pageantry Now. We're all about positivity and pageantry and being able to highlight the amazing things that title holders do to change their world. So often we only see the negative stuff or hear the negative stuff in social media and reality TV, and you don't know what really happens in the 364 days after someone gets crowned. So that's what we are all about. Please participate in the show, ask questions. We want to make sure that you are part of this experience because this is for you as well. If you've got questions, make sure you do keep them PC, because we do have teenagers that watch the show and listen to the show. So we are so excited. And if you haven't found out about it already, we are officially a podcast. You can look for Pageantry Now on all podcasting areas, but specifically at BuzzFeed. All right, so let's get this on. Here we go. Hi.
Hi.
I'm so excited.
I am too. Hi, everyone.
Oh, and we have people filing in, so you clearly have friends that know that you are here. So do me a favor, for everybody that does not know who you are, introduce yourself, please.
I am Brandy Palacios. I am the current Dr. Missouri America 2021. I am a physical therapist by trade, but my wonderful side to do is pageantry. Just being in pageantry, watching pageants, helping others achieve their goals in pageantry. So that is what I love to do.
Awesome. We are in the right place. Great that we can hang out. Ralph says good afternoon, Stacey and
Hi,
Dr.
Ralph.
Palacios. How are you? And then, of course, our lovely director, Diana, says, hello, wonderful ladies who are making an impact. So we are so excited. I know she's off for the weekend with stuff. So I'm glad she's able to be with us. So, all right. So the first question I always ask is, do you like frogs? Why or why not?
I do like frogs. I'm in a sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. It is one of the largest sororities in the nation, founded in 1908 at Howard University. And one of our symbols is frogs leaping and going beyond bounds. So I do like frogs. Yes.
Are you serious? How did I not know that?
Yes, I am. Yes. I if you see me in any colors other than pink and green, there's a problem.
Okay. So like, I can't even believe that I never knew that was what the green, or part of what the green symbolizes. So that's really cool. Like, and I know that not only are you part of the sorority, but your pageant sister is as well.
Dr. Richardson. Yes, we are. We've done some community activities and volunteering activities together with our sorority. So it is one of the things I am most proud of, becoming a member to that organization, because you can see the lives that we're able to impact with young women and men of college age and to maturity. So I love being in it. Yes.
Yay, that's awesome. And then pageantry becomes its own kind of sorority too. So it really is this other thing. So why do you choose to do pageants? Because it is, I say it, and I said it before, it's crazy. Like, this is not for the faint of heart.
It really isn't. But when I was younger, there weren't many women of color who looked like me that were in pageants. I am of a certain age. I'm an 80s baby. But I got into pageants because I saw Debbie Turner, Miss America 1990. And I was like, she was from Missouri and I'm from Missouri. We were about to show me state. And I was like, I need to be just like her. So my mom got her autograph at Crown Center back in 1988. And I used to keep it on my wall. And I was like, one day I'm going to be like Dr. Debbie Turner. So that was my inspiration.
That is so cool. Okay, so
Mhm.
women of a certain age, when you were born is when I started competing.
Oh, no, and I embrace it. I am 40. I just turned 40 this summer. I just turned 40 this summer, and I got some aches and pains once I hit that big 40, but it's been a wonderful ride. I couldn't ask for anything else during this year. It's been a really life-changing year, so I'm embracing it.
Yeah, I turned 55 in June, and so I mean, the thing that's kind of weird is, and for you as well, is that like we can't really celebrate the way we normally would. So
Right.
I went swimming with dolphins. I figured I can't be around humans, but I can go do something that's magical.
That is fun. So I'm June 30th. I'm the last day of June. I'm a Cancer. So
I'm
um
June 1st.
oh
Okay.
wonderful.
We're at both ends. That's
Mhm.
perfect. All right. So when did you actually start competing?
When I first started competing, was in college in the Miss Black and Gold pageant sponsored by Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And I got first runner up, and the bug just kind of hit me after that. And I just started doing pageants for just book scholarships doing college when I went to Tuskegee University in Alabama. So it was just kind of a side little hobby just to kind of get an extra $100 or $200 to buy
Right.
books. And after that, it just kind of went after that.
I know a woman that went to the University of Miami for free because of pageant scholarships.
Hmm.
So it can change your life, and it
It
can be
really
a great.
can.
I mean, and people don't recognize. I think that in the beginning, that was really the goal with Miss America, was to really supply scholarships to women that wanted to go to college and help provide for their education. And and I again, University of Miami is an extremely expensive college. I think it's, or university. Sorry, I'm gonna get in trouble because people, I'm from Miami. They're like, Miss Stacy, not a college. And yeah, I think it's $20,000 or $30,000 a semester.
Oh, definitely. It can add up. And so even just the small amount made a difference. And being there, I was able to help other young ladies that were competing for, whether it was Miss Tuskegee or Miss Alpha Phi Alpha or any of the other pageants that were on campus, just to kind of get that little bit of something to provide for their education. And so I know for me, it made a big difference. And hopefully that tradition continues.
Tradition is so important. It is so important. We need that, because that's
Mhm.
what, our system is about. So let's talk a little bit about why you chose to compete for the title of Dr. America. And now that some of the hard parts of the competition are over, I guess
Yes.
allegedly, but let's talk about the areas of competition. I know people that are watching already know, but let's let everybody, all of your friends know, what do you
Okay.
do?
So I chose to compete because the premise of Dr. World Productions is smart, it's beautiful. In pageants, we normally see just kind of this outside shell of just kind of outer beauty, but Dr. World, it leads us to that inner beauty, what you are on the inside, and that's why I chose to participate in this. And I've seen the other participants just kind of come out of their shells and be authentically them. And that's why I wanted to compete. And so I've already turned in my evening gown wear, my field presentation, where I got to let the judges know a little bit about what I do as a physical therapist and a professor. So got those two big things out of the way, and we're just kind of headed down the track to September 18th.
Ooh, 2 weeks from today, we're gonna do
Yes.
this. We're gonna do this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Mhm.
We will have everything set up, so if people want to sign up for the event, it will be on all of our platforms, so that you can come and join us and watch whomever gets crowned for Dr. America, Dr. USA, as well as Dr. World. Oh, Yolanda Queen is in the house. Hello, Yolanda. Brandy Palacios is an amazing woman. Glad to have her as a beacon of representation for women in higher education. She will make a phenomenal Dr. America.
Thank you, Yolanda. That means it means a whole lot. That means a lot. Thank you.
She is phenomenal, and I don't know if you cheered as loud as I did, but I was so excited. And
yes,
she's phenomenal. So, all right. So, how do you guys know each other? Have you guys competed together?
we have. We competed together back in. It seems like an eternity ago, but back in 2018 together. Yes.
Cool.
So,
very cool. All right,
we got to know each other on a personal level. Yes.
And are you now doing, like, are you finding that you are going for more, because pageantry has so many different layers to it, and I always say there's a system that will speak to you. So I think when we all get started, we kind of go for the big name ones because we think that is where, the only action happens. Right. And I know for me, I did the big Mrs. pageants. I did the big Miss pageants, and then kind of went, I don't think that I fit here. So is that how you got to this place, or is it a little bit different? Tell me a little bit about that journey.
Well, I've done kind of the gambit of it. I was Miss Black United States 2004, long time ago, before I got married. And so that was a smaller pageant. I've also competed in some other smaller pageants, and you find your home, you find who you are, you find what makes you comfortable. And I think that's the most important thing going into it, because sometimes if you do a larger pageant, you can get lost in the sea of everyone else, and you're unable to become yourself. So sometimes it's just finding your niche and finding where you belong and where you can make a difference.
I agree. And I think that that's one of the things that I always say, I'm not competing against somebody else. I'm competing against myself, because there's always things that you can learn about yourself. And I have now found that I like being with smaller pageants, because and it's nothing to say about the bigger pageants, because I have done them, and I have won titles for them. But I think I like the smaller ones, because then it gives me a chance to really bond with my sisters.
Right.
Like, this opportunities like this to me is so important, because it really enables us to get to know each other better. And even though we are, I don't know, 1,500 miles apart. My mother-in-law lives in, well, she just moved to Atlanta, but she was in St. Louis for her whole life. And I love it there, and I think it's beautiful. And but we haven't met, but we can sit and talk here. That's the other thing about virtual that I love, is that I can talk to anybody from anywhere in the world. So,
and it gives you a chance to just bond with your sister queen. Sometimes if there's 52 of you or 26 of you, you don't get to meet each person. And so you get to know everyone on a personal level. And, some things that you might not discover, being in those larger systems, you're able to discover in the other ones.
That's true. Yolanda says, yes, speak that wisdom. She's talking about pageantry and the lessons you learn from it, because you do. Like, there's true growth that comes from this experience. So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about, like, what is the biggest lesson that you have learned so far in doing this experience?
Well, it's just to be able to give others a platform. So my platform is foster care and adoption. And so I was able to become a foster mom on that path to adoption when we unexpectedly got our little one in December. And so just being able to communicate with other families, other adoptees, other adopted families about their struggles through this process has helped me. And it's been able to give a voice to those who may not have that opportunity. For myself, I've seen, having different caseworkers coming through and how you can get lost in this system. And so for me, this platform is able to give a voice to that. And that's, if anything, if that's the least that I can do as Dr. Missouri, then I'm grateful for that.
That's awesome. And so you say by accident, and I mean, I kind of like last night we did a little bit of mock interviewing, and
Mhm.
I wanted to go, okay, tell me more, because I
Okay.
saw you light up when you were speaking about your daughter, and now she's hitting milestones, and how as a physical therapist, because that's the other one of the other things I wanted to have people understand is that to be a physical therapist, you are a doctor of physical therapy,
Yes.
which a lot of people don't recognize. I mean, I have had many physical therapists, so I know the journey you have to go through. So let's talk about being a doctor of physical therapy first, and then let's talk about your daughter and how that mixes together with what you're going through as a new parent, because this is since September, right?
Brand new parent. So she's downstairs with my mother-in-law being quiet for us. But I became a doctor of physical therapy May 2015 after a long tedious journey. And most people will think, it was easy. She just went through school. No, I was one of those students who I didn't like to study. I didn't like to do homework. I like to show up to class and just be in class. And sometimes sometimes that doesn't work. And so I had to find out who I was on that journey. And it didn't take me the simple 3 years as it should have. So I became a physical therapy assistant. And I had a nun who was a patient who said, "Hey, Brandy, they're having this new program. You should go, you should apply." I went on a Friday, I got accepted, started class on a Monday. So that was my PT or journey to becoming a physical therapist. It wasn't easy. And still sometimes it can be tough, but I love to do it. I love, that family that I have with my patients and with my colleagues. They've seen me as a student, as a wife, and now as a mother. So it's been a crazy journey. And then my journey to motherhood, I'm one of those 1 in 6 women who have been diagnosed with infertility. And not just, I tell people it's not just,
There's
um,
two of us on right now, so is
yeah,
yeah. So I get it. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no. And they say, they say it's just, women, but it's actually a family issue. It's a husband and wife issue. And a lot of people don't like to share that part. And it's difficult. And so we have been on this journey for about 5 years. We did rounds of IVF. They were unsuccessful. And so we got on this adoption journey. And my husband was like, "Brandy, I'm all in it with you. If you want to do this," we did it together. And it's expensive. I want to tell people one of those
Yeah.
things.
Oh my gosh, it is.
Adoption
It's
can be
crazy.
expensive. Just as IVF can be expensive, adoption can be expensive as well. And so that's one of those education things that I tell people as well. And there are different platforms that you can use in order to finance that, to become the family that you want. And if you want that, because, sometimes that's not for everyone. But we had started this process. We did the paperwork probably late November, and December came. And I remember it was December 17th. It was probably about 10 o'clock in the morning. And my friend calls and she says, "Brandy, I know you and your Robert, my husband, have started, the adoption process. I don't know where you are, but there's this baby. And if you want this baby, she's here. Just give me your caseworker's number." And me and my friend, she is an incredible person. She is an outgoing person. She lights up the room. But we did not get along when we first met each other. And we tell this story because it's a crazy universe thing. And we look at it and we say, "Brandy, can you think that way back when we would be here at this point?" And the universe just works in a crazy, mysterious way. And that was 10 o'clock on a Thursday. By 8 o'clock on that Friday, she was in her home. I was feeding her right on the couch. And
Oh
so
my
we've
gosh.
had her ever since. It hasn't been, a perfect journey, but it's one that I wouldn't give up for the world.
I'm so
And
jealous. I
so,
mean, I don't want to say that I'm jealous, because that's like horrible, because I think that's absolutely magical. Um first, you've got lots of fields going on. So thanks for all that. Ralph says, thanks for all you do for
Thank
healthcare
you.
workers. Dr. Palacios, you have my deepest respect and appreciation.
Thank you, Ralph.
Michelle, Dr. USA, says, I'd love to talk to you about embryo adoption. My husband and I are starting to discuss rehoming our embryos.
Okay. Yes, I'd love to. Yes.
And then she says, 5-year battle for us. And she says 5 miscarriages, and she's having all the feels. And I will say myself, I have spoken a couple of times about this on the show. I have been pregnant 9 times, and I have no children. My last miscarriage, I've had 2 stillborns. My last miscarriage was in 2010. And then I went right into menopause. Like, I literally miscarried, and then that was it. And I mean, I often say that God has a reason. There's a reason that it happened that way, but I don't always like it. So when I hear stories like yours, I go, there, see, there's somebody that got the baby they needed. I mean, I know with me physically and the things I'm going through, probably would not have been feasible. So again, God had a vision for what my life was going to be. And as a gymnastics teacher, what I do, my husband always reminds me, we have 375 kids. So, and then we get to send them home, and the parents pay for college. So we're good.
It's a journey. It truly is a journey, because I have a younger sister who, at the same time I was going through IVF, she became pregnant and has my wonderful outgoing nephew who's now turning 9. And so you see those different things. And I always tell, I have colleagues that I work with who are going through the same journey as I did, and a lot of women do. You have to take care of yourself. Sometimes maybe it's not going to that baby shower and sending a gift, or sometimes it's crying in the shower, which I did thousands of times, and then going out into the world. Or sometimes it's just having these open and honest conversations, because a lot of times, especially in the African American community, we didn't talk about this. I just had my friends who were, having babies and, married and, living their lives, but no one talked about having a miscarriage. No one talked about not being able to carry a child. And so for me, I am a representation of that. And hopefully I can, shed some light and be a light to others to be open and honest about this as well.
Michelle says we need to talk about it more. So, and I agree. Like, that's, it's kind of a crazy aside, but at the beginning, when I joined the system, I got a call from a detective about my niece. My niece had been sexually assaulted, and immediately I went into, oh my gosh, I'm going to become a parent because I am the only living relative. And I was like, can I do this? Like, she's 11. And I talked to Haley and Michelle, like we all talked about it, because for me, it was a really big emotional situation. And I was like, well, we've got the room, like the studio is her bedroom. So if I ever do get her, she'll move in here and we'll move the studio someplace else. But the idea of being an instant parent is really got to be a little bit magical, but terrifying. Like, how did that feel?
It was absolutely terrifying. I had her, and she was 5 pounds, 5 ounces when we took her home. And I was just like, what am I going to do with this person? I teach anatomy, so I know about the body, and she's going to grow, but how do I physically take care of this baby? And there still are times when I'm like, Mom, I don't know. My mother-in-law, I'm so grateful for her, that, you have a village and people who are able to help you. And that's one thing I do tell people too: lean on the village that you have, lean on them. If you have questions, if you need diapers or you need formula, something like that, something as simple as that, lean on the village that you have. I had a coworker who just came over, and she likes to run. I have a running shoulder. She took the baby for a run while I took a nap. That's the I think the importance of that, just being able to call on family or friends or even your neighbors, if there's something that you need. And it's a form of self-care for me. So, but I every day I look at her, I'm in amazement.
And when we did the show last week with the other doctors, so with
Hmm.
Michelle and with Sequita and with Haley, apparently it hit like a nerve. Something was said, and
Hmm.
I've kind of locked away my son that was born. He actually died as he was born,
Hmm.
and I had pictures of him. And I guess in my sleep, I got up and I pulled his pictures out because I got up in the morning and his picture was on my bed or next to my bed. And I just was like, oh, wow.
Hmm.
He passed away in 2003. And all of a sudden I had all of these like crazy feels that I hadn't had. And, when you just mentioned standing in the shower and just crying, like, I
Hmm.
don't think I've done that enough to be able to really quantify. So I think it's super important that you're sharing your story because that allows people like me to accept that it's okay to feel that that loss,
Yes.
and to mourn it too, because I think I have just kind of compartmentalized it. And again, it was something that we were all talking about after we had done the show, and I don't know where my mind went, but it was like, okay, he needs to be next to me, and I was
Hmm.
like, and I mean, it's a good thing. I
Yeah.
need to talk about it more. So
Hmm.
I really appreciate you being honest and open about this journey. So I know last night we talked a little bit about how your daughter is hitting milestones, and you as the physical, oh, thank you, whoever just gave me love, thank you, I appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm not trying to have feels, but it's
Hmm.
happening. So um but you talked about, like, and I kind of related to it. You were talking about your daughter starting to crawl, and you're like, wait, it's got to, 'cause I know that the way that her development needs to happen, because my degrees, I have dual degrees in education and in development, and then I have my master's in behavior modification. But if I'd gone a different direction with development, I probably could have gone into physical therapy as well. So I
Hmm.
get those milestones. So let's talk a little bit about how being a doctor fits in with how you're looking at your daughter and going, oh, okay, let's do this. Let's try
It,
that.
I think it's all PTs. We all have this crazy thing about watching people. So if you ever see me out and I'm watching you walk, I'm not, being a crazy person. I'm looking at your gait pattern. And it's just something that is ingrained in me. And I just automatically pick up and I'm like, that doesn't look right. But, and so I do the same thing with my daughter. So she's crawling and she's, using one arm more than the other. And I'm like, let me help you just a little bit. I want you to be independent, but I want you to do it right, like I would do it. So I have to back off just a little bit. And she has her own physical therapist. So I go and I sit with her and I watch her. And the therapist is like, do you have any suggestions? And I'm like, no, I'm just watching. I'm just watching. I'll let you work, but it's incredible to actually see, what you learn in books and on paper and what I teach in the classroom, and then actually see her doing it or see her applying it. And I told someone the other day, I'm like, her little hands look like real people hands now. And it's just every day or every week there's something new. So yeah, it's just, amazing.
It's beautiful. And,
Mhm.
I mean, honestly, with my education, the reason that I did not go into a classroom was because I was coaching gymnastics and I really saw that application. So we work
Oh
with
yeah.
a lot of kids with special needs. So I work with a lot of OTs, I work with a lot of PTs, because the applications are so, they kind of go in hand. So we start, oh goodness, it's raining. Oh god. Okay. Welcome to South Florida in the summer. Uh there, I don't know. Did you hear that thunder or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I was like, "Ah."
Woo! So we use, I mean, I use the milestones a lot. I don't do evaluations um for physical therapy OT because I'm not qualified, but I still do evaluations for ABA, for behavior mod. And we have several kids that are, going through therapy, and the therapist will come in and I'll be like, okay, what are the milestones we're working on?
Mhm.
Which I love that I took something that was a sport that I did that I love, and I can have so many different applications for it and really help,
Absolutely.
help kids get to those milestones. And that's really important to me. People are like, but don't you want an Olympian? I'm like, oh no, I've had 5 of those. That's no big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like when I look at the bigger spectrum of, I've had Olympians on the last 5 Olympics. But I don't care about that because I really want the ones that really need the help, that are really in those places. So
And that's the same for me for physical therapy. A lot of people are like, don't you want to go into sports, or don't you want to work with the Chiefs because we're here in Kansas City? And I'm like, I've had pitchers for Major League Baseball teams. I've sent kids for gymnastics to University of Nebraska and University of Alabama, and they go on to do amazing things. But it's the patients that bring you the pies during Christmas time, or the patients that give you baby gifts. Those are the ones that really make an impact in your life, because you can see them from day one. Maybe they're unable to walk, and then you send them out the door and they're coming back to just say thank you. So it can just kind of run the gamut of who you're able to see.
that's awesome. my physical therapist for cardiac rehab just went back, and so this is 2015. I did cardiac rehab, and she went back and got her doctorate, like her MD doctorate.
Uh-huh.
And so she's leaving the program, and the nurse, the PA said, can you send her a video message, because you're still part of our family. And I still pop into the hospital whenever I'm there, because they changed my life. Like I wouldn't do what I do right now if it wasn't for them. I wouldn't be able to get up and go to work. I mean, because I had cardiac rehab, which is different than my physical therapy rehab, but they all tie together.
Right.
So like, I can't tell you, my PTs have changed my life. And I cried because I was like, wow, so now you're going on to bigger and better things. And she said, yep. She says, I'm an orthopedist now. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like how that's so much school. But
Oh,
great.
her patients are gonna be lucky to have her. Yes,
I
on
agree.
both sides.
So I'm going to add an interesting fact to this, which I will tell you that the best walking coach that I ever had was a doctor of physical therapy.
Okay. Yes.
And we started working on me just learning to, this was back when I was in Texas. Like I need somebody again, because after being hit by a truck on your bicycle, you kind of don't ever walk the same again.
Has to be expected. Has to be expected.
I have no ligaments in my knee. I mean, I've got 20 damaged discs, so there's like no way that I'll ever pageant walk again, which is okay. I get that. But when I was learning to walk correctly, when I was training in Texas, I was doing physical therapy, and she was Mrs. Texas. She and I were both Mrs. Texas at the same time. And she's like, let me help you. And I went, okay. And I have got to tell you that she changed how I look at how I walk, because when it made sense that it was, your body is a machine and your machine works a specific way. So what kinds of tips, and I don't usually ask things like this, but I know you can give them. So give us information.
Oh, so one of my things that I tell every patient, motion is lotion. Motion is lotion. It's simple as that. Keep moving, whatever you want to do. It can be in the water, it can be running, it can be walking. Move. It's as simple as that. And if you don't use it, you'll lose it. So it's whatever you like to do. If you like to get out and you like to walk the dog, keep walking the dog. If you can't run, what if you can walk in the water? It gives you a little bit of resistance there. Any of those simple things in order to kind of keep that cardiovascular system going, keep those muscles moving, anything like that. If you like to dance, get out and dance. It doesn't have to be a dance class. It can just be watching So You Think You Can Dance on TV or something simple like that. Just move and use those muscles. If you don't, you'll be, stuck and, getting up crazy. So that's the simple thing. Just keep going and keep moving. Whatever you like to do, it can be exercise. It can just be going outside and walking with your loved one. Those are the simple things that you can do.
So, I'm losing my voice. Hold on a second. Have you ever thought about doing pageant walk coaching?
Yes. I mentored a young lady. It was her first pageant back in I believe 2020, 2019. She was going for Miss Kansas. COVID happened, so we got a little more time to walk. And she did her first pageant, which was kind of a mini pageant over the summer. And then she placed top 10 at Miss Kansas America this past July. And so she had never gotten on a stage. She had never done an interview, didn't know what a platform was. But I was able to kind of help her and mold what she had because she was perfect as she was. But we just had to do a little tweaking and make it kind of, more pageant like. And she placed top 10, and she is a wonderful girl. And I think she's coming back next year, and she's going to take those judges by storm.
Woohoo! Yay! Yay!
Yeah.
And I know now, I mean, I was, when I saw you and Sequita both get your titles at the same time, it never occurred to me that you knew each other. But what kinds of activities, like what's the plan going forward? So, I mean, potentially one of you could be Dr. USA and the other one be Dr. America. So, like, do you guys have a plan of how you work together or what this will be?
So together, I think having two wonderful, dynamic women like Dr. Richardson and myself from the Show Me State, we're Missouri, and that's our theme: show me what you can do. And so I think both of us together, doing a lot of volunteer activity. The most recent one that I think we both did was our mobile mammogram unit for Kansas City, Missouri. So we had a free mobile mammogram down at our health department, and on Friday and Saturday, we gave free mammograms to I believe it was over 70 women. All they had to do was just sign up. They could sign up online or sign up there, and we were able to give them that free diagnostic testing as well as COVID testing. So that's one of the bigger things that we've been able to do. We do a lot with our Rotary Club here, donating glasses and donating shoes as well. So I think both of us taking our tools that we both have from both sides of the river and bringing them together would be an amazing thing.
Wow. And do you work in the same hospitals? Is that how you guys met, or did you guys meet through your sorority?
Our sorority is big, but our group in Kansas City is a little smaller. But we met at a regional conference probably maybe 4 years ago in Colorado. And I was like, hey, we need to get together. We need to meet. And her younger daughters also do pageantry. So I was a judge in some of their pageants as well. And when they say the apple doesn't fall from the tree, that is exactly those Richardson girls, including Dr. Richardson. Her two younger daughters are just amazing, and they will do great things.
Wait, did you judge them at NAM?
I believe one was NAM, yes.
NAM Nationals or NAM
Missouri?
Missouri, okay. Because I judged them at NAM Nationals, so I was like, wait, do I know you and I didn't know you that I know you?
Yes.
Which can happen. So
It can happen. But yes, I've done NAM, and she did another pageant. I believe it might have just been America, and I did both of their girls there.
That's so cool. See, small world. It is a small world. So, all right, we'll do some fun stuff. This is
Okay.
just to make everybody laugh. So I'm going to say this or that, and you tell me which you prefer and why. The
Okay.
why is always more exciting. So, do you like chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla. I think you can do a lot more with vanilla than you can with chocolate. You can actually add chocolate onto vanilla with sprinkles and a cherry and maybe some nuts in between than you could with chocolate. So I'm going to go with vanilla.
Okay, good. I agree with you. So there you go. I mean, not that my opinion matters, it doesn't. All right. Do you like to do makeup or no makeup? Like, do you prefer to get done up or not?
I like makeup on the weekends, no makeup when I go into the clinic. It's easy breezy, take a shower, put on some lotion and my glasses and out the door.
Got it. And then do you prefer to be dressed up, or do you prefer like if you were, are you a go out kind of girl, or are you like a stay in kind of girl?
I'm a bit of both. I'm a bit of both. Like if there is a good brunch somewhere, we're going out. However, if it's rainy, which I love a rainy day, and a good movie, we're staying in.
Got it. And do you prefer to be flats or heels? If I would think with work, it's got to be sneakers.
A good Nike sneaker over a pump. Yes.
Got it. Okay. And I know I love the fact that your hair is natural. Do you prefer it to be natural, or do you prefer it to be like done up? So
To tell you the truth, I am blessed with my little one downstairs, but I don't know what we're going to do when she gets of age because I cannot do my own hair. So it has to be natural. I can't braid. I hate to admit it. On the weekends, I go over to my mother's house and I say, Mom, can you braid my hair? Because I can't do it. I don't know what we're going to do. So right now, she's just got bows everywhere. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
one of my friends, actually one of our students, she started when she was 18 months. She's 10 now, and I love it because she always has the Mickey ear puffs, and
Mhm,
I'm like, does that take a lot? And she's like, no. And the mom is like, no, it's super easy. Because her mom is biracial, so
mhm,
and her grandmother is white, so it's been like a learning curve for them.
mhm.
But when she walks in with the puff, I'm like, that's so adorable. Can you just stay that way forever?
And that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to puff it out because I can't braid. I wash my hair and I go. So hopefully she's a naturalista like myself. If not, we'll go to grandma's house.
Oh my gosh, you're so awesome. I'm so glad that we got time to get to know each other. And is there anything that we didn't talk about that you'd like to share with us? And then how can we follow your journey?
You can follow my journey at Dr. Missouri America 2021 on Instagram. If you have any questions for me, whether it be physical therapy or IVF or adoption or fostering, please don't hesitate to ask. I am an open book and I would love to connect with different people on different platforms in order to share our stories because I believe in sharing your story makes you powerful. So telling your own truth gives you power. So hopefully I've been able to do that for someone else out there today.
I really appreciate it. I know that, it was stressful getting everything ready by September 1st. And now we can kind of take a breath and be like, okay, that part is done.
Absolutely.
Obviously, an interview is always always stressful for people. That was the other question I asked you. What area of competition do you prefer?
Um, I like getting ready for evening gown. Back in the day when there was talent, I would dance, and that was kind of where I shined the most. But I believe interview, especially when there's a panel interview. I love panel interviews. I know there's people out there who hate it, but I love kind of that rapid fire from one judge to the other. So I love that, and especially if you're able to connect with one judge, I feel you've done a difference. So that I'd say interview for myself.
There you go. All right. I'm an interview kind of girl myself. I did talent for the first time oh gosh, it's been 5 years. And because when I started competing was when Vanessa Williams won Miss America. And
Right.
then what happened with her made me not want to do America. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just because like I believe very strongly that she was a victim. She was,
Mm-hmm.
and that was just not okay for me.
Right.
I mean, I did college papers on it. It's kind of crazy. Like I was like, that's my thesis. So, so I just am super excited about your journey, super excited about seeing diversity in pageantry. I'm glad to get to know you better. And I wish you all the best on your journey. And hopefully in 2 weeks, we will be, well, one way or another about this. No, not this time. You guys will be finished with the interview at this point. So, and then it's the wait till 6 o'clock. So, all right. So I am going to close out the show. Just stay. I'm going to put you in the green room. So just stay with me for just a minute and we will see you soon. Good luck. Thanks everybody for joining me. For all the crownies out there, I'm so grateful to have all of you. Really appreciative of you being here, watching, listening, participating. I could have these great conversations by myself, but without you, it's not quite the same. So if you haven't already, please make sure you like us, you follow us, and subscribe to us. Everything at PageantryNOW. If you'd like to be a guest, send us a direct message on any one of the platforms, and we will see about getting you on the show. I appreciate everybody, and thank you so much. Stay safe. That's a wrap.